Before we get into the video, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. So, unless you haven't seen sunlight for days, then you know that North London is hot, and I mean that both metaphorically and literally. And the Wood Green shooting that took place yesterday, which killed a person and injured two others, September 21st, just after 10:30 p.m, is an indicator of this. Now, in this senseless shooting, a man believed to be in his 20s was shot dead in Wood Green outside a bus stop. Reports indicate the shooting may have been a targeted attack, as a volley of gunshots rang out against the bus stop. The unfortunate victim was hit in the chest. Now, at the time of the shooting, a gang of people were situated in that vicinity when the gunfire erupted. 9 or so people made a run for it. Any one of these people could have potentially lost their lives and therefore been a victim of gun crime. Witnesses reported that the victim, whom lost his life, actually stumbled crossing the road before his legs eventually gave out and he collapsed to the floor as other people ran by. Now, as I've said, the shooting comes as no surprise. I mean, after all, if you follow what's going on around us, then you know that gun crime is rising fast, and knife crime is already a part of everyday life now. Eventually, people will just get immune to people dying. Now, during the shooting, 2 other people were hit. One person was a man who was cycling home during the shooting incident, and he was shot by a stray bullet. Now, because that person was a soldier, he managed to cycle all the way home in Edmonton before he managed to get a lift to the hospital. He has suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Now, all this gang and dual idolization and the lack of education is pushing young men to put on this untouchable act or behaviour, and it's getting people murdered in abundance. Now, unconfirmed reports have said that the person who died is S1 from TPL, but this has not been confirmed. And if that's the case, then the shooting may have a direct link to all the disses and hate that TPL spread towards their ops. And it's well documented, so I won't go into it because it's not my profession to turn people against each other. A quick search on Reddit, YouTube and Insta will confirm all of this. Every other day you have these so-called drillers on Instagram bitching and moaning about how much work they mash and how the other side aren't real. Now, when the reality is that none of these people are ready to die. I mean, after all, the man in his 20s who was shot to death, there was a 30-minute gap between him being shot and him being declared dead at the scene. In that small amount of time before he died, I can guarantee you, he never would have thought laying there in the pool of his own blood while his mates were all crouched around him, crying, and ambulance staff performed CPR, was it all worth it? So, a witness who was at the scene says there was blood everywhere. The paramedics were pumping the guy's chest and giving him oxygen. Some of his friends were there also. One of them was praying for him and the others were crying. Passers-by did try to help the young man before paramedics arrived on the scene and began administering CPR, but he was dead within 15 minutes, the witness said. A 59-year-old woman who lives near the scene said she just saw him laying there on the floor. So far, 4 men, all alleged to be in their 20s, have been arrested on suspicion of murder and are currently in police custody, the Met Police said. All I can say is condolences. Stop killing each other. Stay safe. Safe.